I know he's got the axles for it, but I asked him about the rotors and calipers. He said he thinks he's got them. But I don't know if this is going to work or not. May have to do something entirely different. For one, these things have almost no side-to-side movement, and I'm going to have at least a little bit, get some articulation. Also, these are pretty short, and I don't know if I can move that one to the top and then make a new one for the bottom that's, I don't know, another foot longer. That's an option. But I knew it did not have the gears in here. The third member was damaged, and that's why they took this out of the vehicle in the first place. So, but if he's got these parts that I need, then maybe we can make it work. But without them, I don't know if we can scrounge them up somewhere else or not. Also, don't have the springs, and he said he did not, so something else we're going to have to come up with. So, anyway, we cut the rear of the frame off. This is 38 inches long that we cut out, and the frame on the truck is still too long. I know we're going to have to cut it off some more. But that's where we are right now. We're waiting for a decision on the rear differential, rear axle. Went ahead and lifted the motor out and set it close to where it's going to be. I estimated that right here was approximately where the center of the motor mount would be. And I just set this in here to see if it was going to work, and I think it will. We're going to have to straighten it a little bit and move it back some, and then of course the center of the rear axle is going to be about right here. And then we're actually going to cut this off back here somewhere. So that's 18 inches behind the axle. And this is 20 inch. So that's somewhere right here, and I haven't decided yet. That's where we're going to cut it off to finish it up. So, anyway, things are progressing. I don't have any leeway there. This is right down on this brace there, but of course we're going to drop this down to where these torsion bars go underneath this mount, but I think we can reuse that mount right where it is. Once we make our doubler, the doubler will be 12 inches, which will fit right in here. And then when we relocate this, of course the motor mount is right there right now. It's time to make some design adjustments. Originally we were going to put a doubler in here, and we've located the engine now really close to where we want it to end up. So the problem is we've got some serious issues trying to hook up our drive lines and stuff. We're going to have some really bad angles here for our U-joints. So if we add 12 inches onto this, we're going to be back here to where it's impossible to make that. So we decided we're not going to put a doubler in it. We're just going to go with what we got. So, which means we're going to move this motor mount back here to where it matches the motor mount on the transmission. Which also means that it's going to interfere with this, so what we're going to do is take this, cut it off somewhere about here, and cut a notch out of this transmission cross brace and mount it right in there. This will be very similar to what we did on Klondike, so we know it works good to do that. So now we're going to pull the engine, set it on the floor. We're going to pull all this out, get our dimensions figured out, how we got to make that happen. We'll do this part first. Mostly finish the transmission mount and the torsion bar adjusters to see how we mounted that in there. We added this because we're going to bolt it up to the bottom of the frame. So we added some spacers in here so that this doesn't mash. Welded that all in. We got some extra holes here because this was offset a couple inches where the transmission mount fits, and when we turn it around, it'll be offset the other direction. So, but we're not finished yet. We need to put this back in and check our fit for our drive line. It'll go approximately right across here, and if we have to cut this out and box it in, we can do that and finish it up. Added this support in the bottom. We learned that from doing Klondike. It's done very similar to this, and when we tightened up the torsion bars, it bent this right across here. Pretty bad too. I don't know what the torque on them torsion bars are, but it is a bunch. So we had to do this to Klondike, so we know we're going to have to do it to this one. Of course, we've got to finish our reinforcement here. This has all got to be tied in, and then we'll probably box this in here and even maybe support it across here a little bit. So anyway, she's coming right along. Well, next we'll fit that in and see how it works.